Good morning. We're going to be doing a little bit of review over how to solve by factoring. And yeah, then we're going to end up having a quiz at the end. Ooh, I know how excited you are. So, without further ado, let me get rid of my ugly mug. Deuces. And I'm going to have you pause the video and complete these. Now, I will say this: if you are having issues with this, just go ahead and wait and copy down. If you feel comfortable with these already, then pause video and complete these. Okay. Now, number one, I will tell you there is a problem on the quiz that is like this. Okay. So we need to start off when we do these. Okay. First off, this says equals 0, and that's an important thing. Since it says equals 0, I can just do the 0 property. So this is actually a problem that's already factored. What we're really testing to see is, do you understand what the 0 property is? So for the first one, we have x plus 7 equals 0, and I solve that. Minus 7 on both sides, and x equals negative 7. And for the other one, x minus 2 equals 0. We add 2 to both sides, and x equals 2. And those would be my two solutions. Okay, x equals negative 7 and x equals 2. For number 2 here, okay, this is a quadratic because it's got the r squared, and it is already equal to 0. Okay, so I'm going to start the factoring process. What can I divide out? Smallest number is 3, and I can only divide 3 into 3 and 1, and 3 doesn't work on the other one. So 1, it's done. Okay, let's get our magic numbers. So remember, it's A times C on the top. So 3 times negative 5 is negative 15. That's what goes on top. And the B value goes on the bottom. Don't write the B. Don't write the letter B. Write the actual number, 14. Oh, Lord. And now let's go ahead and get these magic numbers. Don't ever forget about 1 in the number. So I can start with 1 times negative 15. 1 times negative 15 is negative 15. But if I add that, I should get negative 14. And I want positive 14. So just switch these around. I'm going to make the 1 negative and the 15 positive. Okay. So I have my magic numbers. Okay. Now I'm going to do the shortcut. And reminder of the shortcut, it is opposite of your magic number divided by whatever the A value is. So opposite of negative 1 is positive 1 divided by my A value, 3. So 1/3. There's one of my answers. Opposite, so that'd be negative 15 divided by my A value. Negative 15 divided by 3 is negative 5. So my solutions are 1/3 and negative 5. Number 3. This one does not say equals 0. So the first thing I need to do is make sure it says equals 0. So let's add 17n to both sides. We have to make sure we put this in the correct order. So it goes n squared, then n, then number. That equals 0. Okay. Well, we got to get our magic numbers. So multiply, see 2 times 21, that's 42, and adds up to be 17. And I start. 1 times 42 is 42. I add those, and I do not get 17, so that's not it. Next number is 2. 42 divided by 2 is 21. If I add those, I get 23. I'm looking for 17. Next number is 3. 42 divided by 3 is 14, and yes, there they are, 3 and 14. All right. So let's do that last part. Opposite of the magic number. So opposite of 3 is -3 divided by the A value. And make sure we're looking here for what our A value is, not at the top. There's every once in a while it'll change. So it'd be -3/2. There's one of them. And opposite divided by my A value. That one's going to be -7. So my two solutions are -3/2 and -7. Okay. Number 4, it does not say equals 0, so I got to move some things over. I'm going to add 8 to both sides, and I'm going to add 22m to both sides. Now make sure we put things in the correct order. It goes m squared, then my m, then my constant. Okay, so I'm looking at solving this quadratic. It says equals 0 now, so let's get our magic numbers. Multiplies to be 40, adds up to be 22. Okay, again, if I'm not sure, go through the process. 1 times 40 is 40. I add those up, I get 41, so that's not it. Next number's 2. 40 divided by 2 is 20, and second try, I get them. 2, 20. Do my shortcut here. Opposite of 2 is -2 divided by the A value. Opposite of -20 is -20 divided by my A value. That would be -4. Okay. You will typically see me use a shortcut when I do these. Okay, I prefer not to do the traditional method. Okay. Now, we are going to play. Those of you that are, well, you guys don't have to worry about it. I'm going to do some review problems, one at a time here. I will go a little quicker through these, but I do want you pausing and trying these on your own for these 8 review problems. This is basically the quote-unquote homework part of today's assignment. So go ahead and pause the video and complete number 1. Okay, this is equals 0, so 0 property. Got 8a minus 7 equals 0. Add 7 to both sides. I get 8a equals 7. Divide by 8. And I get 7/8. For this one, a minus 4 equals 0. Add 4 to both sides. And a equals 4. So those are my two solutions. Okay. Number 2, go and pause the video and complete this problem. Okay. Nothing to divide out. When it's done, magic numbers multiplies to be -24, adds up to be 5. Now my magic numbers for this one are -3 and +8. Okay. Then I do my shortcut. Opposite divided by my A value. 3 divided by 3 is 1, so there's one of my answers for N. Opposite divided by the A value. And those are my two solutions. 1 and -8/3. Okay, number 3, go ahead and pause the video and complete this problem. Have to make it say equals 0. So I'm going to move the 11m, so minus 11m. And I'm going to add 14. Just make sure you put it in the correct order. It goes m squared, m, constant. Okay, check for something to divide out, and it's 1, it's done. Magic numbers multiplies to be 28, adds up to be -11. And the two magic numbers for this one here are -4 and -7. -4 times -7 is +28. And when I add those, I get -11. Opposite divided by the A value. So there's one of my solutions. And for the second one, opposite of negative 7 is positive 7 divided by the a value. Then my two solutions, 2 and 7 over 2. Go ahead and pause the video and complete this problem. Now be careful making it equal to 0. So I should add 13n to both sides. And make sure I put it in the correct order. So this would be 3n squared plus 13n minus 10, 0. N squared, n number. Now, what can I divide out? Nothing. So 1, it's done. This one can be a little tricky. I've seen people get this one wrong a decent amount. 3 times negative 10 is negative 30, adds up to be 13. And what happens is we tend to think of 3 times 10 right away, but then we fail to check 3 times 10 does not multiply to be negative 30. It multiplies to be positive 30. So remember, if it multiplies to be negative 30, one of the two numbers has to be negative. And for this one, it's going to be negative 2 and positive 15. Okay, those multiply to be negative 30, and they also add up to be 13. Let's do our last part. Opposite of negative 2 is positive 2 divided by my a value. So I got 2/3. Opposite is negative 15 divided by my a value, which is 3. And I divide that out, I get negative 5. Halfway done. We'll pause the video and complete this problem. I like it when it already says equals 0. Well, check. 1 is done. Magic numbers. 1 times negative 42 is negative 42. Adds up to be 1. And my magic numbers for this one are negative 6 and positive 7. Okay, so opposite of negative 6 is 6 divided by my a. So I get one of my answers is 6. Opposite of 7 is negative 7 divided by my a. I get negative 7. Those are my two answers. Let's go ahead and pause the video and complete this problem. Let's make it equal to 0 first. So we need to add 5 to both sides and add 6x to both sides. Make sure you put it in the correct order. X squared first, then the 6x, then the positive 5 equals 0. There's nothing I can divide out, so 1, it's done. And magic numbers. Multiplies to be 5, adds up to be 6. And the magic numbers for this one are actually 1 times 5. Okay. Do my shortcut. Opposite of 1 is negative 1. Divided by my a value. My a value is 1. Oops, accidentally wrote a 7 there. Negative 1. Opposite of my opposite of this, so it'd be negative 5 divided by my a value, and that's negative 5. And those are my two solutions. I'm gonna pause the video and complete this problem. Oh, need to make it say equals 0, so minus 3p on both sides, minus 2 on both sides. Put it in the correct order, so 5p squared minus 3p minus 2 equals 0. For something to divide out, and this one's 1, it's done. 5 times negative 2 is negative 10, adds up to be negative 3. I'm looking for my magic numbers. For this one, it's going to be positive 2 and negative 5. Positive 2 and negative 5. So when I go to solve, opposite would be negative 2 divided by my a value. Opposite of negative 5 is positive 5 divided by my a value. 5 divided by 5 is 1. And those would be my two solutions. Last one here. Go and pause the video and complete number 8. Already says equals 0, so that's done. What can I divide out? 1, it's done. Multiplies to be 56, adds up to be 30. And the two magic numbers here are 2 and 28. 2 times 28 is 56. 2 plus 28 is 30. And I just got to do my shortcut. Opposite of 2 is negative 2. Opposite of 2, negative 2 divided by the a. Opposite of 28 is negative 28 divided by my a. That's going to be negative 4. And those are my two solutions. Okay. Now, let's make sure, the slide ain't coming up. Let's make sure that we are uploading our work, what we just did on paper. Make sure you upload that to your Google Classroom assignment for today. And then you need to go ahead and take the quiz. Okay. So those two things need to be done. Again, upload a picture of what you just did, all the problems we just did. Should be 12 total. Okay. And then take your quiz. All right. Quiz is on a Google form. Reminder that you need to make sure that, excuse me, need to make sure that you are uploading a picture of your work for the quiz to the quiz assignment. The quiz is on a separate assignment. Okay. Y'all have a wonderful day, and we will see you again later. Adios. Hasta luego. Arrivederci.